No, I got to lean in.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Lean. We're here for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm here with Jamie and Antonio. And like I said, we're here to talk about the Salt Lake City girls. I know we were absent last week, so we're going to cover last week and this week. Now we ain't going to go scene by scene, but I mean, if you watch the episode, you know, you can kind of sum it up in the simplest way. But very good episode last week. This week I thought was kind of it wasn't bad. It was interesting, but last week was definitely explosive. Kind of wish we would have covered it, but we're going to talk about it like I said. So, Jamie, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. Good to see you. I haven't been on a panel with you and Antonio since we started the new 55 episodes a week that we be doing. It's been a minute.
Well, whose fault is that?
Huh?
Whose fault is that?
Huh?
Antonio,
how are you? It's so good to see you.
you better change that subject. I'm doing good. It's good to see y'all.
Antonio, you a hot commodity on Tuesdays. We have to split you between this one and Married to Medicine.
That's why I will always remain the highest paid.
Only on Tuesdays. Only on Tuesdays.
Come on, highest paid. Only on Tuesdays. I know that's right. Well, yeah, if you guys, I don't know if you guys, obviously, if you're watching us, you probably just watched Salt Lake City, which means you missed Married to Medicine, but they just went off as of today. This is the first time ever in Lean history we have two shows in one day. So on Tuesdays, you can watch Married to Medicine at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us right here at 9:20 p.m. Eastern. Of course, until Salt Lake City goes off, but more than likely, you wouldn't be able to watch both. So, or just watch the replay. So pick and choose. Pick no favorites. You know, they're a little rowdy over there. We a little classy over here. So you're gonna get
that's to be seen. Because
I'm definitely classy based. So
Antonio on both panels because he can give both. So get you somebody that can do both.
Yes.
I like to get classy young man.
Verse.
No, I'm just
better be verse.
It was a really good show. I watched a bit of it in and out of me watching Salt Lake City, but I mean, I only have 2 eyes. I'm supposed to have 4, but I got 2 eyes. So
were they getting Sammy?
But yeah, Sean, I saw you were in the chat over there. So come on, Sean. Sean is watching all of our shows. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate everybody that's watching us. So let's get into it. Like this video. Sean. Subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, you'll know about all of the shows. We have 5 shows a week. Actually, more than 5 shows a week. We have 6 shows a week, technically, if you include Bell Collective, even though it's a pre-recorded show. So make sure you subscribe and you'll know all things The Lean. We're actually celebrating our 4th year anniversary this week. Well, it's this week. We'll probably celebrate it more next week, but this is actual week in which The Lean turned 4. So happy birthday to The Lean, everybody up here who have contributed to the platform, whether it be viewer, platform, panelists, whatever. Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, so let's start with episode 9. Now, episode 9 was interesting. It had a lot going on. It was actually very hilarious. But as I said, we're not gonna go scene by scene. We're gonna go based off of the issues that are at hand. And so at the beginning of this episode 9, we see Angie and Monica sit down to talk about their differences and just how things, are going with them. Angie just kind of feels like she didn't like the way that Monica threw her business out there. And Monica just says, she apologizes. She wasn't trying to hurt her in any kind of way. And they kind of get to a good common, ground. But Angie does tell Monica that Lisa has been saying some things about her, specifically her and her mom's relationship. And Monica, who's already not on good terms with Lisa, is not really feeling it. So later in the episode, we're going to see Whitney's having 2 events. I've never seen a housewife have 2 events, 2 filmed events back to back like that. So kudos to her, I guess, for making history. Maybe, I'm not sure. Somebody educate me if I'm wrong. But she's having her daughter's birthday party, and she's also having her Prism launch, whatever is for her jewelry line that she has. So that's going to be 2 things that happen. And so in this episode, the biggest things that are happening in this episode, we see that, Lisa, not Lisa. After Monica and Angie, come together and the differences, we actually see a scene with Meredith and Heather. And Heather just pretty much has concerns about, Lisa's definition of Mormonism. She feels like what she represents is non-traditional to what being a Mormon really is. But you know, Meredith says she's going to go to the birthday party. Whitney did invite everybody but Mary. She just felt like she didn't want that, and she was a little apprehensive about inviting Meredith, but she is going to invite her, you know. But Meredith says she's going to go and not stay long because she doesn't really want to be screaming and have an issue, which is I think what Whitney was worried about to begin with. And so we get to the actual birthday event, and you know, at the event, Heather finds out that Lisa had the what is it called? The mission announcement brunch, and she's just flabbergasted that she was again not invited, not a part of anything related to this mission. That she doesn't. Do y'all think that she doesn't approve of it, or is it that she just? I don't know. I get so conflicted because sometimes I worry. Like, I mean, I don't think she doesn't approve. I think she just knows what it did to her and kind of slightly doesn't want it to happen to him. But I don't think she doesn't approve of it. What do y'all think?
I don't think she approves of it, but I don't think she approves of it.
Okay.
But I also, and I feel like she's a little jaded because she feels like, oh, Lisa says she can go and she can wear strapless dresses to church and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So but I also feel like she still wants to be in the know. She wants to, it's with 4 seasons in, and Heather is still fighting for the attention of Lisa Marie Barlow. I don't know if her middle name is Marie. It just kind of.
I was about to say, how did you find that out?
So I just feel like Heather's still fighting for her attention. So even if she has to lie and act like she's supportive of it, that's what she's gonna do because she still wants to be in the presence of the Lisa Barlow.
Okay. Jamie,
Heather is one of those people that, God bless her, her intentions may be good. She is aggressively helpful when nobody is asking for her help. It's like, you know, that person that's like, oh, no, I've got the same entertainment center and I know how to put it together. So let me go in and just tell you what you're doing wrong. And you're like, girl, just back up and let me do it. And if I do it wrong, then my TV's going to fall. I don't know what to tell you. Heather is that way. And I feel for her because I am that way as well. And I think that she can't stand that she knows she's an expert on something that could be potentially detrimental and nobody is taking her advice seriously. And I think that really does eat her up. I think that this is the one thing that she's like, ooh, I could contribute positively to Lisa Barlow's life. And now Lisa Barlow does not want me to contribute at all to this scenario. And so I think it's eating her up just a little bit. And she does not, she's spiraling.
What, wasn't Heather kicked out of the church because of the divorce? Is that right?
No, I thought that was Monica that once the affair and divorce, then she got excommunicated. Heather left.
Yeah, Heather left
because her family was involved in the church. So I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forcefully kick her, they could make it
divorce, and she had
was something.
Wait, so Kevin
both were
says
pretty
yes.
high. Like,
did she get kicked out? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought when she got divorced, she had to leave the church.
I don't remember. It's so much. So everybody has a different story on this show as it relates to being Mormon and being kicked out and eating Taco Bell and things like that. I don't know. I can't keep up, to be honest. But I know Monica definitely was. Monica was very verbal about it, and she seems to be proud about it. So that's the one that I do know. Now Heather, or Kevin, and Robo said that the church shunned her. So maybe maybe
made it uncomfortable for her.
So she would still be a Mormon more than likely then, if she, or possibly she'd still be a Mormon if they would have allowed her to remain in the church. Okay, cool.
That was 4 seasons ago and 387 episodes. Like,
you are shy. I can't keep up.
That conversation.
Hey, know your history, baby.
Okay.
So when Angie tells Heather this, at the event, she kind of tries to water it down. It's like, oh, girl, it was small. Trust me, you didn't miss anything. It was just a few people. But Heather's like still upset about it. And so when Lisa gets there, and Monica and Heather talk about the issue that Lisa has. Heather feels like, she still doesn't understand why Lisa's not including her in anything. She already didn't tell her about it initially. Now she didn't invite her to this brunch. And so Heather just feels like, so Heather then tells, this is where Monica finds out that Lisa feels like Monica's relationship with her mom is embellished. She feels like it's fake. She feels like it's really not an issue. And if it is an issue, it's really Monica, the person that's being mean to her mom, and she would never treat her mom that way. Says she's doing it for attention, and she doesn't buy it. That's the exact words that Heather tells Monica. So, you know, Heather is stirring mess, and it's crazy she's stirring mess after having a conversation with Meredith about not creating drama at this birthday party. But I mean, it's Housewives, so I guess she does what she needs to do. So Lisa comes over to them, and she's like, "Hey," and you know, Monica's already on edge, and she confronts her about it. Lisa says she definitely missed the saying it, but saying it was a snarky comment. And so Monica speaks, and just basically just like, you know, I don't know why you would think it would be a snarky comment. And she was just, and then Lisa kind of goes on. It's like she was going on this journey of saying like she liked her mom and she was appreciative, but then she was like, you know, it was an Easter event and she said it was a mess. And so she was like, well, Monica said she brought her because it was an Easter event. And so she was like, well, if you had an issue with it, why did you bring her? So they kind of go back and forth about everything. And then, you know, she's just like, well, if you don't believe me in my relationship with my mom, ask the kids. They're right here. Would you believe a 5-year-old? And so, you know, Lisa is just like, you know, trying to keep it together, whatever. And then I guess Lisa looks to the left and at this plant, and she says it reminds her of her mom looking at a plant when they were at the table at the dinner 2 weeks ago. And Lisa is just even more confused. So basically they have this little back and forth. It gives me very Marlo and Sheree, first part of it, because she's like, you know, bye mean girl, bye 50-year-old. And Lisa called it and she turned around and it's just like, you know, like, Monica, you really need to stop. So I'll stop there and get y'all's thoughts on the way that I guess Monica approached Lisa. Lisa did admit to saying it, but saying it's a snarky comment, I mean, is that really owning it? Like, what do y'all think, Antonio?
I think she owned it. She may have tried to water it down, but she still owned it in some way. I guess I would, if she just said she didn't say it, then we'd be like, okay, Lisa, you're a liar. But clearly, you know, she kind of owned up to it. And maybe she didn't mean it in the way that, you know, we actually took it. I think this is the beginning of the breakdown of any type of them having any type of a relationship or friendship or anything like that going forward. And I guess, you know, there's more that came out tonight in this episode as to what may be contributing to that. But I think they are like 0 to 100 real quick when they could have went like 0 to like 40. And they then could have talked about it, dialed it back, and really got some understanding of one another. But instead, it's like already in their minds, they don't like each other. Lisa don't like Monica. Monica does not like Lisa.
Well, Lisa says don't say that. Lisa would, if she heard you saying that, she would say, "Don't speak for me, Antonio. That's not what. Don't say that."
And I would say, Lisa, you need to shut the boob up, you stupid boob. I would have handled Lisa how Angie should have handled her. But yeah, so I just feel like they don't like each other. I think that the whole situation with Monica and her mom and the way that they saw Monica talking to her mom and stuff, that did something, you know, to them. And I can understand, you know, as if someone is really close to their mom, but you see someone else talking crazy to their mom, you probably be like, yeah, I don't mess with that person, and I don't really want them around. I don't really want to have any type of relationship with them. So I get it, but I do still feel like they had the opportunity to where they could have got at least from point A to point B without, you know, it going to where it has gone.
Jamie?
You're very optimistic for these two personality types. I think Lisa, we've seen over the years, Lisa does not know how to take accountability right off the bat. She has to argue her point down, and she has to show why she's right. And basically what Lisa does, that we saw later in tonight's episode, is she wears you down to where you're just like, fine, girl, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm not going to argue with you. Like, there's no point in it. There's just no point. Monica is not that girl to do that, because Monica will argue right back till she's blue in the face. So I don't think there would have been a resolve with the way that Lisa responds to criticism. Monica was probably a little bit extra, but if somebody, like, if I'm going through the stuff that I'm going through with my mama, and I hear that some random lady who I've already had friction with is calling me a liar about my experience with my psychotic mother, I am going to have feelings about that with that lady. Now, I will say Lisa isn't dumb. She knows she was being snarky, but I think that's her default language. And so she's done it so much that she doesn't think there's a problem. But she absolutely was gaslighting Monica, where she was like, well, I thought your mother was so sweet. Your mother was great. I loved her. Yeah. I loved having her around. She was so much fun. Like, Lisa, you know what you're doing. Stop provoking this girl. And she's already telling you to not speak on it. But I think with Monica, Lisa kind of met someone that'll just argue a brick wall right down with her. Oh my God. And what we got was gold. Right in that little 30-person event.
Yes, that little it was a nice little. You know, I will say I've never really seen Whitney be like a mother, a mom, like, and so I was kind of like, I don't know, this little episode, it just kind of, it didn't make me think differently of Whitney, but it made me kind of like smile, like, you know, she has it. She's not really a little girl. Like, she is a little girl, but she can also be a woman when need to be, and
when she's sober.
When she's sober, and when it comes to her kids, because her daughter, I mean, you know, kids, she was so happy, and it seemed like she was just so happy just to be. She was the little bus they had, all the kids, and she was in full mommy mode, and I like that. She wasn't in any mess for once.
I will say, most of these housewives, when they put parties on for their kids, it's more of about a party for them than it is with the kids. Yeah. And with this, like, the party looked like something that a 13-year-old girl would want. It was all homemade decorations. They had a little party bus. Her little girlfriends were out running around acting a fool. Good. This is exactly what that 13-year-old girl needed. And it just so happened there was liquor.
So, and she got a golf cart too. And it was so funny when she was getting her makeup done. And she was like, she looked in it and said her saying, she's like, oh my God, I have eyebrows. That was funny. So you go, little Bobby. You go, little
Bobby Jean.
Jeremiah Way says not too much on Whitney. Jeremiah, you must be new here because
Jeremiah,
you should know that. I don't want to speak for the whole panel, but I believe I can strongly say this panel does not like Whitney. Whitney is insufferable.
Little girl.
Now, we started out liking her in the first season, maybe, but then after that, it just went downhill. But hey, that doesn't mean, you know, I can't see that she's can be a good mother and have some good moments, because I think she had it in this scene. So to close out this party, Lisa did approach Heather, and this part took me, I don't know why, but she basically was telling her about the brunch, and Heather was just like, you didn't tell me about the mission announcement brunch, and I was just like, girl, you know, like it was this big whole. I mean, it was, but it's just the way that she said it. But basically, Lisa's approach seems very different with Heather. I don't know if she is on this thing of like, I need to kind of salvage some friends because she don't really have a lot of them. But that's what I'm getting, because she approached Heather very softly compared to earlier when, you know, when Heather first felt like she wasn't a part of the whole mission thing. But she was just basically like, you know, like, yeah. And then Jack walked up and he was talking to Heather and she was just like, yeah, see, he's going to Bogota. Yeah. She was just like, it's like she was trying to, I ain't gonna say she used Jack, but I think Jack may have saved her from anything.
Like a buffer.
Yeah, correct. And it worked. So no issues there. Any thoughts on that before I move to the last scene? No. Okay. So the last scene was a lot going on. Now, I've seen bickering like this, but good God, at the event in the middle of a sound bath, it was crazy. And
perfection.
I was uncomfortable watching the scene, just seeing, because you can see everybody looking around and they were really loud. Monica does not have a low voice, and Lisa went there. I was very like, okay, Lisa is checking in. So at the event, everyone was invited, but Heather did not show, and neither did Meredith. They didn't. I don't think they even said why they didn't come, but they weren't there, right? And so really, it's just Angie, Lisa, and Monica. So. Angie pretty much asked Lisa how she feels about after the event, but Lisa really won't let her speak. Like, literally, Angie, I kind of felt bad for Angie in this scene because Angie was just stressed from many ways. It must be miserable to be because she really was in the middle, and unfortunately, she just really was
physically, mentally,
she was in the middle. And so yeah, so when Monica arrives, you know, she's avoiding Lisa. Lisa's avoiding her. You know, Monica goes to the bar. She wants anything but Vita tequila. I thought that was hilarious. She was like, "I want whatever you have that doesn't have Vita tequila in it." I was like, "All right, girl, you better give us drama." And so basically, Lisa talks to Whitney, And you know, Whitney is like, I have an event to run, I have a speech to give. You can talk to yourself. And she literally leaves Lisa sitting in the booth. I was just like, okay.
Lisa looks so stuck.
Lisa was just like, what do I do now? Like, who's gonna listen to me? And so once she gives her speech, I think Lisa finds Angie, and she's just like, come on, Angie, let's go over there. And Angie tries to grab Monica. Monica's like, no, she's talking to you. Go be her puppet. And so they kind of get in this little bickering back and forth thing while the speech is going on. Lisa is telling her, don't touch me. And they making all these comments. Angie's literally in the middle. Every time Angie says something, one of them has a rebuttal. So literally she's like, okay. And then Monica's like, don't just say okay to her. And then Lisa just like says something. And then
oh yeah, that's right. Take a side, Angie.
It was chaos to where I'm just like, poor Angie. Poor Angie. I don't really like Angie, but I know she was stressed in her little, what's that mugler they be wearing?
Mugler, yeah.
Oh, look, it wasn't even fitted well. It was kind of moving around a little bit, but she looked nice, but she looked stressed as well. And so they're going back and forth. The sound bath happens. She calls it a sound bowl. That's what Lisa calls it. And they're going back and forth. And she's like, Monica. She's like, Lisa. And it's just a whole big mess. And so even though there's age jokes, she tells her she's old and she's going to look like her one day. And then she calls her the Pillsbury Dough Girl. And it's just all these comments. And I'm just like, oh my.
They're whacking Angie. Angie keeps catching strays left and right.
Angie felt red because she was older than Lisa. She's like, well, if she old, I'm old. It was a lot. But I loved it. She said she called her a tramp stamp. It was a lot going on. Now, I will say now, Lisa read in the confessional when she said maybe if she'd have to pay for drinks, she'd be in a better mood. That took me out. Lisa is clocked in. That took me out. But to end it all, Lisa, in the middle of the sound bath, she gets in her face and it's like, please stop talking to me. And the whole crowd does this. And I'm just like, oh my God, poor Angie. The scene ends out with them two separating. Angie and Monica on the side, and Lisa is talking to Whitney. But when she sees that Monica and Angie have hugged, she is even more infuriated. They're hugging. Monica leaves, Lisa leaves, end of the scene. What are y'all thoughts, Jamie?
That whole conversation reminded me of, for those viewers who were here 2 years ago, Super Lean, how it just, nobody wanted to give up getting the last word in, and it was just back and forth, and it was chaos, and it was a headache. Angie was getting whacked. Lisa would walk away, and then would come back. Well, you know what? Actually, I have something else.
She literally would walk away and come back and be like, now, Monica, because it was giving what you're not going to do, but in her own way, what you're not going to do.
It was great. I think we're in agreement that the last two seasons, particularly the storyline with Meredith and Lisa, has kind of gotten a little dark, and Lisa kind of went to a place where it really felt like, ooh, this isn't fun drama. This isn't fun like pettiness, and Lisa's like an actual like villain, and it's uncomfortable to watch. This is the villain that I can settle with Lisa on, just like completely self-absorbed. Let me argue in somebody else's little quiet time in this little salon. Like I'm down. You call me old, I'm gonna call you fat. You said my stuff is
no, really.
You said my stuff is fake. Or that I'm cheap. I'm gonna say you broke. Like Angie, shut up. Like you're a puppet. You're a like. This is the stuff I live for. Like this season feels almost like a reset on Salt Lake City that was much, much needed. And I'm glad Lisa Barlow is the one kind of front and center acting her ass off. I loved it.
Antonio?
You know, I knew that this was going to be bad when they first kind of started. And Monica was like, you're not my mother. And Lisa was like, and don't want to be clearly or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
she says, and I don't want to be. Nobody does, obviously. Like, girl.
I was like, oh my God.
Lisa, I'm sorry. I'm living. Like, I'm just like I like Monica, but I'm just you.
Lisa got her. Lisa
like the real disengager is really Lisa. She really does not. She'll engage, but she doesn't really go here. She usually will like storm off, cry, call Jack, but she was like literally in it. And when she got in her face I was like, oh my God.
She had that cell phone, and I was like, okay, Lisa's tapping into her
Please
ghetto a little
stop
bit. And it was
talking to
like,
me.
I
have that saved as a meme. That's saved as a meme.
Please stop talking to me.
Between that and you need to leave are my two favorite memes right now.
But it was like back and forth. Lisa, Monica was holding it, but Lisa was not having it with Monica. And some of those jabs she was giving back, like when she called her the Pillsbury Dough Girl or whatever she said, I was like, I could not believe it that Lisa actually went there. But she was going for it. I was like, this is I think quintessential like Housewives. They're not really arguing about anything, some of the dark stuff that we've seen in the past. It was very surface stuff, and it got exhausting, but I did live, and I really didn't. Whitney was so annoyed with it. Whitney was like, "Can I ask them to leave?" Like, and I'm like, "Girl,
she said, Lisa Barlow."
Whitney came over and tried to shoot him away, like, y'all standing in front of the cash register. I'm like, girl, ain't nobody lined up to buy that stuff anyway. So
she literally, and when she said that, I was like, I don't see nobody try to buy this girl.
But then the one girl that was talking with her, the one girl was talking with her was like, okay, well,
around the building.
Nobody wanted it.
And Angie, I agree. Angie was so like, she was trying to not go against Monica, but she was also trying to be as supportive to Lisa as she could without seeming like she was taking sides. And Lisa was telling her to shut the hell up. And Monica was like, and Angie's like, okay. And Monica's like, no, don't you shut up. You say what you got to say. I was like,
you puppet,
Angie,
you minion.
Angie and this little updo, I know her head was hurting so bad by the time. It was so
everybody.
Angie was stressed.
She was.
Everybody got dragged because when Monica said, go, she goes, oh, I'm trying to listen to sound bad. She goes, yeah, old people like that. Angie said, like, well, no, hold on now, girl. I'm older than her. And Lisa then came back and said, actually, Monica, Angie's older than me. And so is Meredith. And so is Heather.
Like, she did.
And then Monica hit her with the, but you look it. I was these girls going in.
At least I don't look like the Pillsbury. What'd she say? It's natural. I don't look like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Like, oh my God.
Did anyone else think it seemed like when Lisa said that, well, it's natural or whatever, and she smiled, they like zoomed in on like her crow's feet on the side?
So shady. That makeup, oh my God.
I think they did. It was good though. That was some good Housewives banter. Right. And I know we ain't seen the last of it, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more coming. I think with this, to close out this part, I think it was just because, Monica had like the better reads personally, but Lisa was hitting her where it hurts. She was hitting it. She was hitting her, especially with the whole, nobody wants to be your mom. Obviously, it's just like it's kind of effortless.
Yeah, and it was nasty. Oh,
yeah, it was nasty. But
I would have had to fight. If I was Monica, I would have tore that place upside down.
But I do think Lisa was more bothered than Monica. Monica was kind of having a good time. I think she could have went all night. Honestly, Lisa only. You
can tell Monica is like she ain't new to this. She's young. She don't mind. She ain't really got nothing to lose. I mean, and not being shit. She ain't really got nothing to lose.
No, you said
I will argue with you. I will argue with you as long as I can stand up here and breathe. So if we go all night, you heard she said I'll argue in a parking lot.
Her and her mom have had worse fights. So whatever.
We're gonna talk about this mama because that made me scream. We're gonna talk about that. All right, so we're gonna move to tonight's episode. If you guys watch it, thank you for following us. We have to talk about episode 9. We weren't here last week, so make sure I hit that like button, like, and subscribe. So in episode 10, the final event is Heather's book signing, and she gonna have a book signing for a book that ain't been bought. So that's gonna be later in the event. But at the beginning of the episode, we see a scene with Lisa and Whitney. Now, we talked about how uncomfortable Whitney was. Literally, Whitney was so uncomfortable at this thing to where she was like, shush, and talking about the invisible people to buy things that weren't buying anything. But basically, Whitney is upset, mainly at Lisa's behavior. She felt like, it was loud and it wasn't the time and place for that. And you know, they're not going back and forth, but apparently her kids think they are, because one of her son comes down and it's just like, what's going on down there? And she's just like, oh no, ain't nothing going on. So Whitney is like, listen, do not speak like that in my house. We don't speak like that in my house. You know, my husband's not here. And the kids are here, so they're just not used to that. They're not scared, but they're just not used to that. And so, you know, Lisa in her confessional just feels like, in other words, the audacity of her to tell her. But then again,
ask me not
I
to
think
cuss
Lisa
you
was
out your own
everybody,
home.
right? I think Lisa was everybody, but Lisa, you know, coins it to being more so about her being a not so a good host by making her feel uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, Lisa, you always find a way to reel it back to you, huh?
Listen.
But and you know, Lisa, I'm sorry. So in this whole conversation, Lisa is trying to just, I guess, get Whitney to understand how she feels on how she doesn't understand Angie's intentions. She's like, Angie is telling her that Monica's doing this and saying this. However, she's still befriending her. And I'm just gonna say honestly, like, you know, Lidney.
Not you done gave him a name.
Listen, Litany. No, Lisa is threatened by this friendship. I think she does not like Monica. And we know that Lisa is very territorial with her friends. She's if you're her friend, you're her friend, which is, you know, it's giving me Jen Shah, which is crazy because Jen Shah was like that, but now Lisa is doing it in a way, but she's not really owning it, in my opinion. But the scene kind of ends, you know, with Whitney just telling her, like, listen, like, I didn't like what y'all did, and let's keep it down in my house. What are y'all thoughts, Jamie, on this scene?
Like Rebels Adventure said, Lisa looked shocked to get checked by Whitney. And
yeah,
again, Lisa does not respond well to criticism on her own actions. I'm actually surprised Whitney actually told her that, but I think Whitney was also just still pissed off that she carried the way that she did in her little profitless jewelry pop-up shop. I think, I mean, if you remember, like, Lisa being threatened by this friendship with Monica and what's her name, Angie, is the same way Whitney was threatened at the friendship with Heather and Lisa, and then Heather was threatened by Whitney and Jen, and it's like everybody at some point is like, don't be friends with us. There's only 5 of y'all. Like, at some point, y'all got to intersect friendships. Like, let's stop. But I think she knows, because she saw the way that Monica kind of dogged out Jen, and I think that not Monica,
Angie,
that she knows, like, okay, I need to keep you close because you're going to dog me out the second that you get a chance to dog me out. And against Monica, that girl does not keep her mouth shut, and she's going to tear me up. So please don't be friends with her.
But you know, one thing I will say, I mean, Monica's really not talking about Lisa. She's really not
at all.
She's only talking about Lisa when she finds out that Lisa's talking about her. I mean, she's not.
Somebody brings it up. Somebody else.
This episode, Monica was so bothered by Lisa.
Well, I think from that Prism event onward, I think now she's definitely being very snarky in everything she does. Every comment, I think she's going to continue that, just because now she's like, all right, let's play. I think now it's like, I no longer want to play nice with her at this point. First of all, allegedly they say that Monica got that lady's ring. Did y'all see the projected seating chart for Salt Lake City reunion?
Monica
and everybody else over here.
and what? Monica will win. Monica will come out the winner.
I think she will, unless Mary was on that side. I don't know. She may not win against Mary. She may.
I don't know. Mary doesn't like anybody except what's her name, Meredith.
I think with this scene, I thought it was good, actually. You know, I will say Whitney is not my favorite on the cast, as she is to none of us. But I do like how she's kind of handled herself in these last few scenes that I've kind of seen her in. Lisa was definitely surprised, and that Whitney was kind of, you know, like telling her, like, we don't speak like that in the house. Like, I cuss with y'all, but I don't really cuss around my kids. And they were really yelling, so I can understand why the little boy thought, oh, they down here beating the brakes off each other. Also, Lisa definitely is threatened by the friendship that Monica and Angie could possibly have, but I also think Lisa is confused as well because she keeps referring to Angie has said all of this stuff about Monica, but then now, you know, we're seeing Monica and she is, you know, it's all hugs and, you know, kisses and they're laughing and they're joking. And I think that just kind of that's burning Lisa up because she doesn't know that they had, I guess, this conversation, which also is odd to me. I would have thought Lisa would have been one of the first people that Angie would have reached out to after that, you know, that whole situation happened. So that was kind of crazy that she's still not.
Wait, you said you think that Angie would have been, you said she would have reached out to Lisa?
Yeah, like Angie, you know, because they friends. So
well, look at how Lisa reacted when she found out she met with Heather.
And Angie brings that up later.
Yeah,
right. Before she brought it up, I was like, but you got upset about this. But I mean,
you know what? I didn't think about that until she said it.
It makes sense. I mean,
it does. It makes sense as to why she didn't. But you know, Lisa, I still kind of understand why Lisa is a little bit like
confused.
I don't know what's going on there. Like you don't like her, you say bad stuff about her, but yet now you see her y'all hugging and, you know, kissing. So, yeah. And I still think Whitney was over it. Whitney didn't even seem like she really wanted to do this scene. Like they just kind of threw it on her. She had on her pajamas and her
charcuterie
board that looks so sad to me.
I hope that her kids don't ever watch these seasons back because they're gonna be like, he's gonna be like, damn, I came downstairs for this after seeing what my mom really does. Because usually it's chocolate and stuff all around the house as they roll in the chocolate. So I mean, what's a little loud conversation? I just was like, I understood Whitney's little scolding, but I was like, girl. You
it was kind of odd. I was like, at first I was like, okay. But then I was like, I was the same. At first I was kind of like, now Whitney, but then I was like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense because thinking back, I was like, you know, so some of the conversations that she's had in front of those kids, it hasn't been really anything like in depth or.
I mean, after Meredith, was it 2 seasons ago?
I didn't know she had a son. I thought she only had a daughter.
I don't remember.
Got Brooks and Bobby.
I said, now where he come from?
Now, also another thing. Never mind. I'll say it in the group chat.
Okay.
No, say it. Say it. It's your square.
We'll talk about it. So the next scene was
text it to me. I'll
interesting.
say it.
I guess they're giving Mary her camera time and her chance to address whoever she wants to address for not being present last year. And so we've seen Mary's house. We've never seen Mary's house. And this time we saw the house in its full entirety. And I'm gonna say it is tacky as hell up in there. I love me some Mary, but Lord Jesus, it is definitely giving Willy Wonka, Alice in Wonderland, Vampire in Brooklyn. I mean, I can keep going to all these movies.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it looked like a gargoyle of vampires maybe lived in the West Wing. I don't know. It was a lot going on in that house. But kudos to her for inviting Heather over. And this conversation actually went pretty well. So she starts out by, you know, kind of crazy. So what?
I said considering.
Right. I mean, it went well because she started out by praising her and saying how much she liked her and respected her. And she always just felt like they've had a connection, right? But she really wants to talk about the things that Heather said about her in her book. And so in her book, apparently, you know, Heather just kind of made it seem like she was like this bougie, poised, and pretentious woman. And, you know, Mary is just like, that's not really her. And I'm like, I mean, do y'all think what she said in the book was wrong? Was it bad, actually?
Heather, that is the most honest Heather has ever been in her life.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
And I don't think it was bad.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
We get this comment. Yeah, I don't think it was bad either. But I mean, she's right to want to address it. But one thing they also addressed is Heather mentions the whole inbred comment. And Mary says, yeah, I do think you look inbred. But she apologizes because she says if it hurts her, she never wants to hurt her. And, you know, she just apologizes and says that basically she was angry. She doesn't have any ill intent for Heather. Heather speaks to a lot of people being upset about her book and things said in her book. And that's kind of where the scene closes. Did y'all have any thoughts on this scene? I thought it was a nice scene. I feel like maybe Whitney and Mary's scene could have went this way, but I don't know, just different people, I guess. And also the charge was different as well. One was about a book, one was about what did she call her? Pornography. Jamie.
I'm really, really happy that production is committed to having Mary film every single episode so she can collect her friend of check as many times as she possibly can.
Yeah.
Like they're looking out for Mary so she can buy more tacky furniture off Wayfair. Like good for production. I can see why her son allegedly doing drugs in the East Wing because I would have to do something. I would have to do something to cope with living in that disaster. For a pastor, she's not seeing the gates of heaven for that.
She might see it from her dining room area.
That looked like one of the 7th rings of hell.
You know what? What threw me off though? I mean, of course, the green carpet. You know but what threw me off? The Skittles chairs, the big Skittles.
I don't get it.
That like
I was
really
just looking for something in the house to match. And nothing went with anything.
Nothing Mary wears matches though.
Like it was sugar jars over here. It was like cereal boxes. Everything was just so crowded. I was just like,
I like the color of her kitchen though. I like the Tiffany blue in the kitchen. No,
I like the green rug. That's it. I like the green rug.
Now listen, let me say this though. Whoever had bumped Mary's wig, they did a good job bumping it.
They bumped it. You liked her hair?
I think I didn't like the application of the wig per se, because at one point you can still see her edges, but whoever like bumped it, they did a good job bumping it. They just should have helped her put it on a little better.
Well, she didn't have time.
Turn the wigs around.
All right, so the next scene, it was kind of small. It was Meredith and Seth, and this scene took me out because they did a whole scene, a whole emotional moment, got down to some things, and baby, the red light was not on.
So now they gotta go back and redo that and get them same emotions. That is.
But cool. The good thing is that they got it filmed, so they can always pull the audio from that. If they wanted it, I'm sure. I don't know. Do you feel like because when he realized it wasn't filmed, he was like, you didn't get any of that? Do you think it was staged? Do you think it was some raw like things that they were saying? Because basically they talked about their marriage and getting a post up because when they relocated to Salt Lake City, he was distant and not really present a lot, and she felt like he was a little off in some ways, and she felt like being in Salt Lake City she would lose her kids, so that's why they got a post up. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I thought it was raw. I personally thought it was real, but I feel like they knew that after it happened, that was a, really good moment. So it's like, you didn't film that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy to me, but kind of hearing why, they got the posting up. She was like, nothing was in there financially, but because the laws in Utah, are not really favorable towards women. So she would have lost her children and stuff like that. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought it was real. Meredith is unintentionally funny. Like her husband is crying, caressing her hand, saying like, "I'm so sorry. I own my."
He tried to cry. He's
like, "I'm so happy that we're in such a better place." She's like, "Oh my god, the recording is on." Like, girl, your husband's crying. Like,
well, he had the tears in his eyes. You could tell he did.
And then another person who
was trying to cry.
And was like, my god, girl, like, it's not
no, because the thing was when he was crying, he was trying to like cry into the mic, like so they can hear, because it was a podcast and it was also audio, but he was trying to like make sure that they can like hear the tears,
hear the sniffles,
hear the sniffles and stuff. And I'm just like, Seth, we get it. You're sorry, you're remorseful. We got it, baby. we got it. All right. So the next scene took me out completely. I was like flabbergasted. But then again, I'm not surprised. So Monica's with her kids and she's at home and they, are doing some little family activities, but they see, the Range Rover that she was once driving that was recently taken from her mom pull into the driveway, and they call her Bobo. That's what they call her. I guess that's their grandmother. I don't know, what is Bobo something? What is that? No.
I thought they called her Bozo, and I was like, okay.
It was Bobo. But she's just like, it was, how I ain't gonna lie, the way Monica acted when her mom pulled up, like in those movies when like somebody dangerous pull up to the house, or they'd be like, lock the door, Lock the door, y'all.
The daughter knew she was like, you want me
in
to
the
lock
closet. In the closet, y'all. And so it was the mother. So she meets her outside because she's like, she's not coming in. And so the mom, her mom is hilarious to me, just how she be looking. She really, you know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of the lady from Bridesmaid. What's the lady that was, it's the woman on the plane. You know, what's the actress? She reminds me of an older version of her. Like when I see her, I see Bridesmaid. I really do. That particular actress. And so she comes with a peace offering, and it's the car. And Monica's like, no, I cannot keep doing this, but I really need this car, but I can't keep doing this.
She said, I brought you a gift. She goes, this is my car. How are you bringing me a gift that's mine already?
The mama said, okay, a peace offering.
Okay, damn. But she basically was like, we need to go to counseling. And she's like, well, we've done counseling. She's like, well, we have, but that was a long time ago, and we need to get back to where we are. And so she says she's open to it, but she's gonna have to she needs to get the walking because it's gonna be a cold night. And I was like, huh? In other words, give me my car and you need to get home. But I'm like, damn, you don't call no Uber or nothing. The mama was like, can the baby take me home? And she was like, no. And she walks off. And I was just like, crazy. I hope that production picked the lady up or something. I just hope she didn't walk. I don't even know how far she lived, but Jesus Christ. I was like, they need some serious help. She made her mom walk.
That lady thought she was going to pull up with the car with open arms, have a whole scene, collect a per diem. And Monica said, thank you. Have a nice night.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time with your pajama bottoms.
Any thoughts on this?
That's so many thoughts.
Go ahead.
Give it to me in a small dose.
I'm loving Monica. I'm loving everything Monica is involved in. The lawsuits, the fraud, the ring theft, the treatment of her mother. Like, this is a queen. Everything's alleged except the treatment of the mother.
Oh, Lord.
Queen Monica is the best addition to a Housewife franchise in a long time. And her mother actually is a hot ass mess, but fits on this show. And I know her mother is going to gag when she's not asked back next season. She's going to be so mad. Ooh. Her mother is living vicariously through Monica on this TV show. And it's very apparent every single time that lady show up to film.
When she made her walk, it's like she was like, oh, man, damn.
Yikes.
I got to
those little thin pajama pants she had on.
They were Tweety Bird pants. I was like, she about to go to Walmart too.
Like, I would have took her.
Well, she had her I'm about to go to the school outfit on real quick, and she thought she was gonna get a ride back home, but Monica told her no.
Maybe she have Marge pigtails on. Yeah.
Oh my God, Antonio, you got anything?
No, what everything that Jamie said, I'm with it. The mama had a Marge pigtails on. It was just a fun scene how the mama pulled up and hopped out. Like,
it's the way she was standing there, like,
yeah.
Bitch, what do you want?
I come bearing gifts. Here's the car. She's like, here's the car. I'm like, and Monica she's not in a situation. She needs that car. I mean, come on now. She can only rent so many cars and get Ubers. She got 4 kids. She needs that car.
And Jeff Lewis said she probably 3 payments behind on it anyway. So.
Jeff
Lewis said it at Bravo.
That messy.
I'm weak. Jeff Lewis always talking shit.
Always.
All right, so we get to have this book signing, and Lisa, I didn't really know what she was going to be doing when she got there. I thought she was going to be like emceeing at first. I really did. I'm like, okay, she's going to MC. Lisa's talking about
how she house mother.
So I mean, I'm just saying, like, she's gonna be like on the mic, like yo, Heather.
She did know later.
she really did actually. She gave. Don't believe it, just watch. So Lisa and Angel are avoiding each other. Monica, no, I'm sorry. This was the event where Monica wanted to drink. There wasn't with no Vita
tequila.
Yeah, I got that confused with the other scene. So this is
so many events this episode.
It was so right. So Vita is at every damn event.
Oh, Lisa places.
Lisa gets. You know what? I would do it.
The taxes.
I get free liquor. Probably. I'm assuming she gave.
These are the favors they were talking about.
These are the favors. The rumors. Correct.
The rumors.
And so Monica talks to Meredith about the argument. And Meredith just tells her, maybe you can kind of like, sit back a little bit and kind of like stop reacting. And Monica's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's not
that sounds healthy.
And, Meredith cackles and they laugh. Lisa sings her top 20 Billboard
bubbling under
hits. Oh, what is it? What is
Away in a Manger?
Correct. She sings. She's
was a little more on key.
Right. She sings it in the exact same way. I feel like it was the same audio from last year because it sounds in the exact same way. I think she probably practiced it 1,000,000 times. I don't know.
She did.
But as she's singing, Monica is giggling, and so is Angie. And I thought Lisa was gonna lose her stuff on that stage. I know she wanted to just throw the mic at Monica, but she didn't. She held her composure. And she introduces Heather. The choir comes in with Heather, and Lisa starts to rap, and it gets real hood up in there. I was like, this is some gang type of, I don't know, is this a cult? What is going on? They was getting real hood up in there, and I was like, is this a book signing, or is this
Heather started?
Is this an album release party? I don't know.
My album release, it looked like a scene out of Empire. Like
it was.
Cookie popped up. Like this was mess.
It was giving glory. But anyway,
not joyful.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I meant, though. I'm glad.
That's how I do immediately.
Chuck
the
I'm moving to the church, child.
Oh my God.
What's that? Glory.
That joyful. Lord,
so Heather speaks, and Heather reads her book. She's reading the book and basically reading a little piece of it, talking about a situation where she was, I think, in Amsterdam, right? Was it Amsterdam?
Norway. She was coming from Norway.
Okay, Norway. And she reads it, and honestly, I'm gonna say I'm happy for Heather, just because at first I was like, girl, I'm about to read this book, which I still they are reading this book. But the people that came up to her, they seemed to be very grateful and appreciative and talking about the little experience. One lady said she was gonna stop crying because she had been crying. So I was like, you know what? Go ahead, Heather. Like, I'm happy for her. She feels whole doing what she's doing. And so for that, I have no complaints. I won't even knock her shine on that. And so at the end of this little part, Lisa and Heather have a conversation, and Heather just kind of admits to talking about validation, which is something we've all done since he's the one that she requires a lot of validation. And I feel like that is, I think it's, she did want to know about Jack's mission, but I think, she just wanted to be a part of it so she can further validate herself in some kind of way. And she owns up to that. They hug it out. There's no issue there. So Angie comes over to Meredith, and she says, Meredith, please don't walk off on me again. Just please stay and listen to me as I talk, please. She confronts her about the whole deal about Meredith allegedly trying to ruin her family, and Meredith's like, I never said I was. I said that I could. That's different from me saying that I'm actually going to. And, she apologizes, and, Meredith clearly doesn't really want to be a part of the conversation, but she kind of, just does what she needs to do for the camera. She has walked off a lot, but, in the confessional, Angie feels like the apology was just kind of whatever. She didn't feel like it was a real true apology. I think it was the best she's gonna get right now. Meredith didn't walk off from her. She could have just stormed off because she's really not really feeling Angie, and nobody is, to be honest. At this point, nobody really is, to be honest. And so that's all that happens at the event. Any final thoughts on that scene? The book signing, anything in that scene? Yeah.
I know when Lisa was up on that stage, and Monica and Angie were right there, and I know she saw them. I know that was eating her up not to be able to say something, because I probably would have wanted to say something as well. So I get that. Heather's doing a part 2 to the book. I guess I'm not with the book. I thought she was just talking about, I guess, her experience. I didn't know she was bringing the other ladies in, or somebody, one of y'all read it and tell us how it was, because I'm not reading that. Yeah, so I ain't gonna do that. But But when Lisa started the rap thing, that was hilarious to me. I was shocked that she kind of stayed on beat the whole time. She kind of got off.
She stayed on beat.
She did for the most part. It was about maybe 75-25, I think.
Okay.
In a group of people that were not on beat, she was the most on beat.
Yeah, they was like, it was off, and I was just like,
no, I meant with her words to the way where she was saying it.
She was reading that little teleprompter thing so hard. She was so baby.
She rapped the way. She rapped the way Whitney read Mary's text messages.
Jesus. Oh, yeah. And I was surprised. Meredith, she legit does not like Angie. She don't want to talk to Angie.
She won't give her the time of day.
Angie, she don't want to see Angie because typically when the housewives are at stuff, they'll kind of set them near each other. Meredith was on one side and Angie and Monica were on the other side. I thought that was really, really funny. Angie's outfit with like the braids and stuff. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm trying to wear these sunglasses.
You like her braids, but you didn't like Larsa's?
It's Larsa.
Not particularly. Y'all think I see this? I think about this a lot of times because Angie, when she come into the scenes, her hair be done. I wonder if her husband do her hair before she leaves.
I would hope so. If my husband did,
let's save some money. Absolutely.
He probably do her hair, makeup, everything.
I mean, it's just a bust down. Like it ain't nothing going on with her hair.
Braids this time, and she have a little ponytails. And sometimes she have a little curls. So
she don't have the spunk and the oomph, but I feel like she kind of when she arrives on the scene, she reminds me of Jen Shah. She does. She reminds me of like not because she don't have nearly as much spark as Jen Shah had, the personality. I wasn't a big fan of Jen Shah, but I could appreciate her spunk. And Angie doesn't have that, but in the presence, the way she
Angie's kind of extra.
Yeah. For this cast, she stands out compared to everybody else always.
I agree. Because on stage, they cover her whole face. So yeah,
I hope Monica comes back with a nice season 2 glow up, because if she shows up in another little sweater dress and boots or whatever she be wearing, I'm sick of it. She be looking like she's the guy to go breastfeed. And nothing wrong with breastfeed. She be looking real plain, and it's okay. We know that she, is struggling in that area, but I'm really hoping for her season 2 glow up because I really want her to fit the housewife aesthetic a little more.
I agree. She do be looking kind of like wedding guest.
She looked like she just finished carpool and she just had to go up to the school because one of her kids were bad every time.
Again, it's her mama bad. Her mama. Come get your mama.
So this last to get out of here was a scene with Lisa and Angie, and Lisa basically talks to Angie. She expresses to her about how she's been feeling. She doesn't understand the optics of how she's been talking, how Angie's been talking to Lisa about Monica, but then she sees her hugging and she's just confused. And then this is where Angie basically says that she feels like she can't talk to her, and she mentions the whole way that Lisa reacted when she found out that she met up with Heather, which makes perfectly sense. She kind of admits to being like she's kind of scared of Lisa, kind of like moves in a way to where she is scared of her, and Lisa calls her like a punk or something in her confessional, and I'm just like, okay.
A punk.
Lisa, she's not gonna take any accountability, but she also, we know she lacks self-awareness, and maybe this would be a moment for her to, since she's having a one-on-one conversation, be more like, oh, do I come off a certain kind of way? Am I like this? But clearly that went right over her head. Because what I'm noticing from Angie is that Angie is kind of a softer, meek woman. I think she could easily be broken in a lot of these cases, but she's holding on thus far. I mean, she's doing what she got to do, but I'm noticing that she's not the most like forthcoming person when it comes. I think production may push her the moments we have seen her do things, but it's not in her to be this way, to be honest. Especially with Lisa. So
that's the thing that I've noticed about Angie is there's something not necessarily inauthentic, but it seems put on for the cameras.
Yeah.
We saw that when she first came on last season, she had a lot of energy whenever Jen poured the wine over her head. And then it just kind of seemed to fizzle out for a lot of other conflicts once Jen really stood on it and got in her face. We saw her at the beginning of the season really chase down Meredith and like get up in her face, and she was on it. She's like, we've got this, we got this. But over the time, you can tell that she is a little unsure of herself, and it's because that genuinely is not who she is as a person. And I think that's one of the reasons why I can't get behind her, because it's like, well, this persona isn't you. Yes, everybody has the capability to get upset and kind of take it there, but you don't seem like you in your day-to-day life raise your voice or get crazy or get loud or have these confrontations and shake your little box braid or whatever that your husband put in for the scene.
Not like, a box braid. Those were not.
You don't do that. So yeah, I would like her a lot better if she was just like, yo, you pissed me off, but I'm not going to try to like create a moment out of this. Like, I think she really is that woman that was getting stomped all over at the salon between Monica and Lisa. Like, that's who Angie is. Like, she don't know how to insert herself.
Yeah. Jeremiah says maybe Angie chooses peace over conflict. I don't think that's
she should. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong
with to choose conflict.
She started the season off with conflict.
She did.
Lots of conflict.
She was, yeah.
And she runs up on Meredith.
If she didn't, she wouldn't have a snowflake. But but seeing these scenes, it doesn't seem like she because they literally in that scene from last week's episode, I mean, Monica and Lisa just tossed her little Mugler and wig across back and forth, literally. And Monica is much younger than her and literally telling her, don't say it's okay. Like, Monica,
you didn't have to say much. You didn't have to put much younger.
Sean S says maybe she don't want to rock the boat after the rumor came out. Girl, it's already out. And it's not even really a thing that's out, because she even admitted herself that it's something that's always been speculated. So surely she should be ahead of that by now. If if she has said to herself that her husband's been, perceived as gay for all this time, then at this point, what is really the shock? What's there really to talk about? Unless there's something else going on. I mean, I don't know. There's more rumors. I don't know.
Your R's get more and more aggressive every time you say
I've been practicing them. I'm rumors.
That's it right there, Jamie.
Yes, I'm trying to be like glory.
Gloria.
Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty much how the scene ends. I mean, Angie does feel like Lisa is hurt from some of her past experiences, like with Jen Shah, like with Meredith, and maybe some of that is being projected onto her as to why she's so onto her about her relationship with Monica. But she basically tells her, like, listen, I'm not saying like me and Monica are just the best of friends, but I decided to move forward and I'm going to have baby steps with her. And that's kind of what she says. She finally gets a chance to speak because Lisa won't let anybody speak. That's crazy. We didn't talk about this scene, but the scene where she was talking to her husband and then she got into the phone and he was just sitting there like, he was looking at her and she was like in the phone. He was like, yeah, so what do you think? And then she was like paying him dust. I'm not going to say that they having issues, but I will say these are some of the things she should look at in the future if they get to a bad place, because I think she's probably a great wife, but sometimes to be self-absorbed and with your friends is one, but with your husband seeing that, I feel like production is showing us little peaks and bits of just like really how she is. And it's kind of sad to see. Yeah. Because he seems very supportive of her. He answers every time she calls after every conflict. And I just feel like, maybe she could put a little more time, especially on the camera, or don't be showing those moments where she's like paying him dust in her phone. Because I think that's real. That's probably happening a lot more than others.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Well, I put the link in the chat a few minutes ago. I didn't see anybody want to call in. I don't want Sean to say we begging for callers. Sean is here. Hey, Sean.
Let's talk about that. No, but I was going to let it go. Let's talk about that. Let's get into it.
In the chat again. If anybody wants to call in really briefly, there's a lot going on right now between, Heather and Monica. There's this lawsuit that Heather has against Monica for like not paying for this whatever she did to her,
Botox
or whatever. Monica is countersuing by saying it was botched, but then they saying that she was apparently it was on a Klarna pay. Was it Klarna or something like that?
No, they saying that she just comes and she like pay. We kind of made the Klarna part.
Oh, girl, yeah, I might stop listening on Twitter because I thought
we said in the group chat. Wow, that's how you know he don't read everything. He comes and
she makes
he got it on Klarna and he runs with it.
She never finishes paying for it, and she did it in like other names other than her.
Remove the Klarna, y'all. That's the lean group chat that I'm in 5% of the day. So yes, no, but there is a lawsuit that they're both suing each other. She is suing her for not paying, and she's suing her for saying it's botched. There's a lot of things going on with Monica. They said that she allegedly stole the ring, and I'm just, we saw BravoCon. There were no conflicts that came. At least we didn't see anything. So we'll just see like how the reunion goes. I think the reunion is going to be filmed the last week of November. I know it's filming at the end of this month, and we only have 2 more weeks of this month. So it'll probably be the week after Thanksgiving.
Monica said she's ready for the reunion, and she'll see Heather there. That's all she's going to say about the whole lawsuit thing. So,
and that is the first time that a housewife has said that, and I believe them.
Yeah.
I think Monica.
I think she's gonna come because she has nothing to do. Yeah, she definitely gonna come, guns blazing, knives sharpened. She gonna be ready. And I'm will be intrigued to see how Lisa and Angie's interaction is. Especially with the stuff Lisa kind of said about her in her confessionals, and just the way that meeting ended with Lisa, like, oh, well, we're okay. They not okay.
No,
not okay.
Who do you think is going to be okay at the reunion? What relationship you think will be the healthiest? I guess
Heather and
Whitney and Heather. Surprisingly,
I was going to say Whitney, but then again, there's more coming between them two.
That was not on my bingo card.
But I do think they'll probably be, because I know Whitney and Meredith get into it again because she feels like she's coming for her vagina or something like that. That comment is, I think that yes. But Lisa and Whitney could be okay, but I do feel
they did not start out that way.
But what I noticed is that
Heather and Meredith, that's safe. Heather and Meredith,
true.
Heather and Meredith will be okay.
I feel like Whitney is kind of looking at Lisa and noticing how Lisa's moving. So I'm curious to see what she has to say, because she's not really siding with Lisa on anything, especially when it comes to Monica.
Yeah, she held her feet to the fire. She goes, "You saw them hug, and you acted crazy.
Yeah,
you lost the mess." Like,
I'm curious to see how that is going to go. But from what I'm hearing, like Robo just said, everyone apparently does dislike Monica, and I wonder why Meredith dislikes her. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe she don't want to be associated with another scammer,
or maybe everybody is just kind of general, and it's maybe Lisa. Well.
Who y'all think will be the first 2 chairs?
Ooh, if Monica nabbed herself a first chair, that would be. I mean, she deserves it, honestly. Monica and Lisa so far are first chair for me.
I would have to agree.
I feel like Whitney,
maybe
Angie and Heather at the end. Oh,
Lisa, Meredith, or Lisa, Heather, Meredith, maybe.
I don't see them putting Monica.
Lisa's definitely going to be up there. Season. Lisa could be up there, and she could. I mean, she's going to be up there. I think one of them. The other person,
no, maybe Monica. Monica, Meredith, Heather,
Monica,
Lisa.
I think it would probably be Lisa and Meredith out of respect.
Yeah, if they go the respect route, sure. I don't think Meredith though. No,
I don't think Meredith will as well.
I forget sometimes Meredith's on here.
I honestly think Heather will get first chair before Heather. I mean, before.
Well, the drama between Meredith and Angie continues later on the trip too. Just looking at the trailer, you see these little bits of argument. So I think she'll be more activated. She'll be activated again. I just don't know to what extent. So we'll see. It'll be filmed in, I think I'm gonna say 2 weeks. They said at the end of this month. There's 2 weeks left. It's not next week. It's Thanksgiving.
That means we got.
And so on that note. You know what?
So that means we got fashions that are coming. Ugh.
Yeah, I think this show will probably wrap probably in January. We'll be done with this in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's typically 15. I thought it was like 15, 16 episodes, and then
I was hoping it was 12, but it probably
Yeah, I was hoping for like a good 11, but we
if they gave NYC 15 episodes, they're gonna give. So I just don't want it to be a 20 episode season.
No, I don't think they're gonna get 20 because they can really go.
Cannot. Andy, you will pay for your crimes if you make it a 20 episode season again.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you guys for watching. This is our new time. So this is the time we're going to be here live. We're going to be here at 9:20 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. The show goes off at 9. We're here. Make sure you guys, if you can, watch Meredith Medicine at 8 p.m. Eastern. But I mean, I know it's hard to watch both, but you can always watch the replay. So pick and choose, no favorites, have a good time. Do, right? But with that being said, like, subscribe, and make sure you guys check out Beverly Hills tomorrow. It's live. Make sure you guys check out Potomac, which was yesterday, and Bell Collective, which comes out on Mondays as well as Miami on Thursday. It's so many shows.
There's so much, dude.
Crazy. It is crazy, but I kind of like it. I kind of enjoy it. We're celebrating 4 years, so with time comes growth, and with growth comes more shows. I get it. But I'm appreciative of everybody that's able to be here, specifically the panelists, because they don't have to be here, but we here and we are entertaining y'all. We're here for y'all. So like, again, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Okay. Peace. Good night, y'all.
Hold on.